Hey everyone, True here with another African violet video. Today I wanted to show you that really when it comes to African violets and leaf propagation, that leaf size does not matter. Does not matter. Also, the length of the stalk that you pick does not matter. People will tell you that the leaf, the bigger, the healthier, the better. That has not always been my experience. I can take older leaves and plant them and I'll get lots of babies from them, and often sometimes quicker than younger leaves. So this is an example here of where these leaves were both propagated at exactly the same time. Both have been in this pot for around 2 to 3 months. The larger leaf, they're different varieties of African violets. The larger leaf has, as you can see, no babies. Now, some people will tell you that, oh, but it's a longer stalk, the babies might be further down under the leaf. I can tell you it has no babies, that leaf, and it has been there the same period of time as this leaf here, which has no stalk at all. It was actually planted in the soil, and it has babies coming out of it. So often, I guess what I'm trying to say here is that you just don't know. You can take the healthiest leaf from African violet, you can do everything right, you can make sure you've got the right length stalk and everything, and you might not get babies for a very, very long time. So what it probably shows here that what has a really big impact on when you get babies and how many babies you get, I think, is variety of African violets. Some just seem to shoot out babies much quicker. Some seem to take a lot longer. And maybe some prefer to have a stalk when they're being leaf propagated, and maybe some prefer not to. So it's sometimes every little plant in an African violet I found is a little bit different. But what I can definitely say is that size doesn't matter when it comes to African violet leaves. Size of stalks doesn't seem to matter either. That it's probably more the way that you raise them, the environmental part, and also comes down to the variety of African violets. Now, this is just my experience. I'm sure there'll be everyone out there that will tell you, and I know with African violets, everyone will tell you something different. Everyone will tell you there's so much different information out there, and the reason for that is because African violets are so climate specific. So what works for me here in Brisbane, Australia, may not work for someone that's in a really, really cool climate where you get snow, or even for someone who's in an extremely humid climate. I know that the way I grow my African violets here is different to the way people grow their African violets on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. And that's only 2 hours away from where I am. So they are very climate specific. But this works, this is applicable to me, whereas the size of the leaf, it doesn't seem to make any difference whatsoever. The size of the stalk hasn't made any difference whatsoever, and these were planted at the same time in exactly the same growing conditions. So all I can think of is that it's the variety that seems to have a huge impact on when the babies come and how many babies you're going to get. So I hope this video helps, and leave a comment below. I would love to know where you are and how your experience when it comes to leaf propagation, and if you found the same thing, that different varieties seem to take a lot longer, that some varieties just seem to take off and are much easier to propagate than others. I would really be interested to know, because I'm still learning about African violets, and any information that anyone can give me would be extremely helpful, and and help me to grow better plants as well. So I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.